Is there actual science supporting faith in the biblical account as well as a supernatural creation by God? Is there a way that we can use science to actually understand how God could have created the universe, sustain it, and perform miracles from time to time? In this video, we will delve into this question and demonstrate that there is indeed a scientific model for how these things can be. There is a huge difference between blind faith and rational faith. Blind faith is continuing to trust someone or something despite evidence to the contrary. For example, you can continue to trust someone who has repeatedly lied to you because of your feelings for them. Rational faith, on the other hand, is faith that is based on evidence. People can have a blind faith not just in religion, but in science as well. Blind faith in religion is trusting what someone preaches without first checking it, believing a religious claim despite clear-cut evidence to the contrary. This is not a case of someone claiming that it is wrong, the clear-cut evidence that it is wrong. For example, trusting in a religion that clearly teaches that the earth is flat would qualify as a blind faith. Christianity does not qualify as a blind faith. In fact, it encourages us to check things out for ourselves. In the book of Acts, the Bereans were said to be more noble precisely because they compared what Paul and Silas were teaching to what the scriptures said. That would be the Old Testament. Some people also have a blind faith in science. A classic example of this is when making the case that a biogenesis is impossible. The person responds in totally blind faith that science will someday find the answer. Trusting that science will find the answer at some point. It's just blind faith. It is not drawing conclusions based on what we currently know. Throughout Genesis chapter 1, God is depicted as speaking things into existence. Genesis 1:3, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. What God was literally doing here was adding information to his creation. In any program, virtual reality information is the key to functioning and what it contains. Quantum mechanics is the principle in physics dealing with the extremely small. It shows that on these levels, the universe ceases to be mechanistic, but probabilistic. When not being observed, subatomic particles exist only as waves of probability about the properties which collapse when they are observed. Furthermore, their behavior they exhibit is affected by the information that we gather about them. The delayed choice quantum erasure is a perfect example of this phenomenon. It uses entangled pairs of individual photons, along with ways of measuring which slit they goes through, while the other goes to the main detector. If the measuring photon takes one of the two possible paths that tells us which slit the entangled pair went through, we get particle-like behavior seen in R3 and R4. If, on the other hand, the measuring photon takes one of the paths that does not provide that information, then it goes through both slits, producing an interference pattern as seen in R1 and R2. Ultimately, what quantum mechanics suggests is that reality is fundamentally programmed information. Not only is this the best way of making sense of it all, provides the best possible chance for quantizing gravity and producing a theory of everything. Now, this does tend to lead to the idea of a programmer, who would by definition be God, but it also shows how God could have created and continues to run the universe while it maintains a general set of rules for how it operates. When all of this is put together, we have God creating the universe by setting up a program, information system, and importing information to it. Our minds perceive this information to the degree that our minds and bodies receive it. In other words, contrary to some claims, God is a programmer, not a magician. In conclusion, ultimately, the science behind faith in creation is quantum mechanics. It shows that our reality is fundamentally information, providing a mechanism for God creating the universe out of nothing. It eliminates claims about magic making God the programmer of the greatest computer program to ever exist. If you like this content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Also, please help support this channel. See the description for details.